Now we're going to examine how to cost inventory under periodic inventory system. This is a little different. In a periodic system, we are only concerned about when I actually make purchases. So I don't actually do anything when I'm actually selling the product. At the end of the accounting period, I actually do a physical inventory and I find out how many I actually have on the shelf. So we're going to continue with the same data we've been using. But again, I'm only concerned about my purchases and what I have on the shelf. So here are the items, and we're going to do all three methods, by the way. We're going to do FIFO, LIFO, and weighted average. Periodic inventory valuation does not require a spreadsheet of any sort. You can actually do it right here on hand, and I'm going to show it to you. So here's my beginning inventory. I had 1,000 pieces at $20 each for a total of $20,000. I bought 500 more at $22.40. And then I bought 600 at $23.30 each. So I had a total of 2,100 pieces on the shelf, or that was my total available for sale. My total cost of all the inventory is $45,180. So we're going to do FIFO first, and we're going to ask ourselves the questions, what is the cost of the ending inventory? So it shows that I have 800 pieces on the shelf. And so what I need to figure out is, what is the cost of that 800 pieces? Now here, so if we're doing FIFO, we're going to pull from the beginning inventory first, which means whatever I just bought is still on my shelf. So here it'll show that I have 600 pieces at $23.30, and then I have 200 at $22.40. So let me show you on the next slide how that happened. Here was my beginning inventory. Here was my first buy. Here was my second buy, and then finally I had 800 pieces. Under FIFO, the cost of the 800 pieces, what you actually do is you understand that all of these have already sold because first in, first out. So I'm going to start right here to account for the 800 pieces. So of the 800 pieces, 600 pieces were at $23.40 each, plus 200 from this batch at $22.40. And that's how we figure out the cost of the ending inventory under periodic FIFO method. Really simple. The other thing we're concerned about is what is the cost of the merchandise sold under FIFO periodic. So here's what I had. I had the beginning inventory plus what I purchased along the way. So here was the cost of all my available inventory for sale. $45,180. That was on my first slide. Now I know my ending inventory total is $18,460. When I subtract, there's the cost of my ending inventory. So I'm going to back up a few slides. We're going to go back to here. Here's the cost of all my inventory. Here's the quantity. Here's the 800 pieces. We determined is going to be a total of $18,460. So this is the cost of my ending inventory. And when I know that, again, this is how to figure it out. When I know that, I know the cost of all my inventory minus my ending equals what I actually sold. So this is periodic FIFO method. You will have homework problems that will deal with this. So next, we're going to go to periodic LIFO. We're going to use the same data. Okay, we know we have 800 pieces on the shelf. Doing LIFO, last in, first out, we want to know what is the cost of them. So here's my little sheet. So here's my beginning inventory. Here's my first purchase. Here's my second purchase. And I have 800 pieces left. So under LIFO, what's the cost of the 800 pieces? Well, LIFO is last in, first out. So that would mean I would have sold all of these first, and then I would have started selling these. So if I have 800 pieces, they're going to come from here. So my 800 pieces are going to be $20 each. So LIFO, I'm going to start figuring the cost of my inventory from the beginning, because at the end, I've sold all of this stuff. Hopefully you're able to follow on this. Okay, and so if I want to know the cost of goods sold, here's my total, $45,180. 180,000 is my total cost of all my goods, minus the ending inventory of 16,000, which is what we just got, the 800 pieces at 20. So here's my cost of goods sold. So for LIFO, let's go back one slide. For LIFO, as I want to know the price of the ending inventory, I'm going to start pulling the inventory from here. When I was doing FIFO, I would start pulling the cost of the inventory from here. So just know you're going different directions. Now next we're going to look at weighted average. Weighted average is a little bit different here because you have to remember the formula. Here's my formula to find my weighted average cost. Total cost of units available for sale divided by units available for sale. So we're using the same data. Here's my beginning inventory. Here's my first buy and my second buy, and then I have 800 pieces left. So I need to figure out the total cost of my inventory. So 1,000 times 20 is 20,000 plus 500 pieces times 2240 equals 11,200 plus 600 pieces times 2340 equals 14,040. Do not add 800 pieces in here. I'm going to add up these numbers. My total cost of inventory is 45,240 divided by my total inventory count. Now, be careful here. The 2,100 pieces was from the 1,000 pieces plus the 500 pieces plus the 600 pieces only. Do not add the 800 from the ending in. So when I divide this, each one costs $21.54. So that's the cost of my ending inventory. So here's a little slide. I'm sorry, $21.50. It has a rounding issue for me. I did it wrong on the rounding. I am so sorry. It should have been $21.51. Okay, so that's my average cost per unit. So it doesn't make a difference. Okay, so my ending inventory is 800 units times $21.50. Again, when I want to know the cost of goods sold, I'm going to plug it in like this. Here's my cost of all my inventory minus what's on the end, because I always calculate that ending. Here's my cost of goods sold. So this concludes Chapter 6 Inventory, Periodic, FIFO, LIFO, Weighted Average on how to determine the method.